Hey class. Yeah, we're gonna go through the entire document on how to rig the lamp. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of editing for this. Firstly, we will be doing pure desktop so you guys can see everything I do. All right, so we're gonna start at base one basically of doing the locators. So we will want the locators to be at this ball, at this joint, and then at this top ball. The locators are going to be very important for later. We will literally use them like 3 or 4 times during this for like snapping things to them. I would also recommend grabbing all of the base geometry, putting that inside of a layer. So not only so you can also do visibility, but also make it so that you can't interact with it. That will be a later step as well. Uh, Similarly, do a group, lamp geo group. Put them all under there. All right, so the next step, we're going to leave perspective view, go to front or side view, whichever one you care for. Then once in that view with only the locator selected, we are going to skeleton create joints. The first joint, we're going to snap to the very middle of everything. So we're going to hit X, snap it to the middle. Then we're going to hit V to snap to point, and we're going to snap to the locator, which is in that middle section of the ball joint there. Then we're going to snap again to that locator and snap to our final locator. And hit W. You did it. You made your first skeleton. Very quickly, rename the skeletal. Oh, so sorry. Grab the joint that controls all of these skeletals, put that into a group, and we will name that group Skell Group. Okay, so with only the joints in the view, you can do, locators. It's just easier if it's only the skeletal. Select the bottom one. You're going to hit F8. If you don't see these right away, go up to the top section here, and there's a question mark icon that will toggle them on and off. That could be hidden behind this menu right here, or sorry, this menu right here, which would be next to all of those magnet-looking icons. So next to those, just open up the menu, and then within that menu, you will see the question mark. Then you can get all of the joint orientations. Um, Within Maya, Y direction is the up and down axis. X is the right to left axis, so that would be, yeah, this way. And then the Z axis would be the final axis, so back to front. So with that, we will want to orient all of these to be basically just 90 degrees that way. So what you'll want to do is shift select that, or not shift select, so sorry. Just drag select, like no, not pressing any keyboard button, dragging mouse over this, and then you are actually selecting that pivot point. E to, rotate, J, snap it, and yeah, just do that for all of these. And then with that done, and all of them, are still showing pivots and stuff like that, all you want to do is hit F8 and then just, W or something and click out, click back in. Everything is good. Orientations are properly set. So for our next selection, we will want to be able to see our geometry at some point, because what we want to do first is select the parent. Uh, the primary, so that would be the skeletal. Then we want to select the geometry group that this is in, so the lamp geo group. Bam. With all of that selected, and once you are also in the rigging section, go to skin, smooth, or it is bind skin, I believe. Yep, bind skin, and do this little option box selection thing. Because in here, uh, the default max influences, I believe, is 5, but we're going to want to knock that down to 2 so that each bone can only have an influence of 2. So, for instance, this middle one here that's above the base bone and below this upper bone there has an influence of 2, meaning it has an influence of 1 there and also 1 there. So 2 influences are coming from this singular bone onto the rest of the skeletal. From there, just making sure. From there, yeah, you don't want to mess with anything else besides max influences, apply and close. You can test this out very quickly by selecting one of the bones and moving it around, and we will see that the mesh is moving with it. However, it is broken, as we can see there. So the way to fix it is through the smoothing of weights. So for this part, I'm going to knock out the skin from there, which to do that, you just open skin, hit this little top dotted mark area, and it just pops it out. The reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to be hitting this paint skin weights button right there a decent amount of times. So what we want is to have the rig not be broken if we move things. So for instance, if we grab this and move it like this, we don't want that to happen. So way to do that is select that mesh, paint skin weights. Oh, so sorry. uh, Option box for paint skin weights. Then we have joint 1 and joint 2. Uh, this is where naming your joints is going to come in handy because I am going to assume joint 1 is the uh, base joint of the group. It is, but I'm going to go name them very quickly. Joint 2 will be bot for bottom ball joint because it's the ball joint there. We got the mid hinge joint. I can't see. And finally, top ball joint. Great, now I don't have to guess when I'm doing this. So we're gonna go back to having skin open and paint skin weights for there. So the ball joint, which I misspelled, I love to see that. So now that they're named, so you don't have to be guessing, I'm going to grab the bottom one, do that paint skin weights option. And for the ball joint that we have there, which would be this joint, we don't want that to have any effect on this. So we're going to knock the opacity down to 0 and uh, we're going to go to the base joint and bring it all the way to 1 because this is an equalizer, meaning it has to add up to 1. So you could do zero point 0.5, zero point 0.5 for the base and then the ball joint so that they each have a 50-50 amount of weight, aka influence, over this bottom section here. Instead, what we would want is to have this base joint take up everything so that if we move the base joint, this is moving. And then similarly, if this is moving, the bot ball joint, if that moves at all, we don't want the base to move. So we would want this to be at pure 1, then this to be at 0, so that it has no influence over it. I seem to have deselected this. There we are. So you can test that out immediately by grabbing this second joint and rotating it. And perfect, it's not having any influence over it. Uh, Same thing for this little section here that the joint is resting in. So we would want the ball joint to not have any influence over it, and for the base joint to have 100% influence over it. Exactly like that. Once again, very easy to test all this stuff out if you are doing it right. Um, it's not moving, which is what you would want to see there. Uh, so for this mesh here, it is getting broken when this moves. So the way we would fix that then is select that mesh, paint skin weights, and you would want uh, the bot ball joint, so the thing that's rotating this completely, to have 100%. While everything else then gets knocked down to zero because once again, this is an equalizer, meaning if something is knocked up to one, everything else gets knocked down to zero. If you knock something down to zero, it won't work unless something is accounted for to make up the one. Uh, it's a little weird, but it does actually make sense. Once again, you can test this out. No longer has any influence over there. And if we move this, basically moving perfectly, I am seeing this ball is breaking. So let's select the ball, paint skin weights, see what's going on. It's a shared value as seen by the not pure white value there. Pure white means 100% max influence. Black obviously means zero influence. So we would want the base joint, or sorry, the ball joint to have 100% influence over it. Meaning when we move this, it moves 100% with it. So now already you can move this around while having a very decent time with that. So we're just going to keep working our way up, see what breaks, see how to fix it. Oh, I locked my mesh apparently. I was confused by gray. So we're gonna grab this one, rotate it, see what breaks. Doesn't seem like this is breaking, but we're gonna just double check everything. So we would want the mid hinge joint right there to have the 100% influence. And then up here, we would want this one not to move with this ball because that really wouldn't make sense. This thing would just like fall off if it was moving with it all completely. So we're gonna paint the skin weights, mid hinge joint, 100% flood, which then makes that zero. And then we can test that out by grabbing this top hinge and doing a rotate on that. And then we can see what needs to be fixed here. So for instance, I'm gonna break it and leave it broken. You don't have to do this, but I think it makes it more obvious when we fix something. So right now this looks to be interacting pretty good, this little socket joint here. So we're gonna start at the ball. And we want the top ball joint, the thing that it's basically resting in, to have the 100% influence of its rotation. Uh, Same thing for this, for its top counterpiece with the 100% influence of it. And then similarly, close that, paint the skin weights. We would want that top joint to have the 100% influence of it. And then we get to see a couple of things break because we would want this thing to also have the 100% influence from that top joint. Sorry, I was making sure I did it right. And finally, this little back socket thing, 100% influence. Then with that, everything's following properly and not breaking. It's nice. So that's how you do the painting for this. It's very simple. Luckily, painting can be hard. So now we get to have fun creating the FK controls. which, oh, okay. Very quickly, let's just do the base and master control with our two circles, of course. So base control, Shift D, master control, grab both of them. Very quickly, kill the history, freeze transforms, double check it happened on both. Name, base, control, and master control. They both get their groups. Groups. And then with that, we will want to do the classic of grabbing this bottom joint, or so sorry, inversed. Grabbing this base control, grabbing the skeletal group, and constraining the parent and constraining the scale. So that if this moves at all, so does that. Of doing the same thing of grabbing this and then grabbing your base control group, parent and scale. Once again, moving and schmoving here. I'm gonna very quickly iterate. Very quickly, the master and the base control groups are both put into a bigger group of just control group. Okay, so now we're gonna make the forward kinematic controls. It's going to be easier without seeing the lamp. I will also make a new layer titled Skelly. Oh my lord. Skelly. Grab the base, throw it into Skelly. Perfect. Then I want my locators back because we're going to put these there. I will bring this back just so I can see how big I am making these because you do want them to be like, somewhat big. Seems like that's a decent size. So I'm going to go with that, hide that, and snap it. There we are. Oh, now there we are. So we're going to do that two more times. Sweetness. And then each of these are going to be named FK bot control, FK mid control, and FK top control. You can hide your locators again. Each control should be named, centered, and frozen. So we're gonna grab these three, name them, then we're gonna delete the history and freeze them so that they're perfect. For influence, there should be apparent and scale constraints from the bottom and mid controls onto the respective joints, and an orient and scale constraint from the FK top control onto its joint. Okay. So, we're going to get our little skelly back. We're going to grab this, which would be the ball joint. But first we would want to grab the FK bot control and then grab the ball joint, and we will do a constrain of a parent and a constrain of a scale. Meaning, if we rotate this one or rotate this one, just so you can see it all, or move it, it moves with it. uh, continue to do that. So this one, sorry, uh, FK mid control to the mid hinge joint, constraint parent, constraint scale. And then we are going to want to do a little different on the top where we grab this, then that top joint, and we want to do a orient and scale. So constrain, orient, constrain, scale. Parent scale constraints from each control onto the group that contains the next control, base control onto FK bot control, FK bot control onto FK mid control group, wait, base control onto FK bot control group. Oh, okay, yeah. Then we're gonna wanna get these in their groups so that we can bring the hierarchy throughout this so that it'll follow these, all the rest of it. So very quickly, group all of these together, or not together, in their own separate groups. I'm gonna do FK bot, group, group, and group. Then grab your bot control and then grab your bot control group there. I did that right? Yeah. Bot control group, which would be this. I almost messed that up. Sorry, let's do that one more time. So your bot control, then to your FK bot control group, constrain parent, constrain scale. Then you grab your FK bot control to your FK mid control group, parent scale, then the FK mid control to the uh, top control group, parent scale. You can test immediately with moving this bottom one. They all move, nice. FK control, I'll put this inside. So then grab the three groups we made for that, make a new group with all of them, and that will be the FK control group. And we can put that inside the control group there. Alright, so we are actually at the very top of page 3 right now in the PDF document, getting ready for IK. So with this, what we're going to want to do is grab each and every one of these different joints. And with that, oh, my bad. With that, for instance, for this one, we're going to want to grab the orient constraint and change this FK top control W0 to A0. Essentially, that is turning it off, turning off that orient constraint. We will want to do the same for the parent constraint here. And then finally, for this FK bot control. Then, with that FK control group, just hide all of it. Don't need it anymore. Um, then we're gonna pose the character for the IK handle so that it understands the rotation that we want from this. So we're gonna grab this bot joint here, and we're gonna rotate this backwards minus 30 degrees. We're gonna grab the mid joint, the mid hinge, rotate it forwards on the all this can is on the x-axis, assuming you haven't rotated your dude. And then finally, moving this backwards minus 30. Oh, minus 30. So that way, when we create this IK handle, it understands the orientation of the elbow, basically, of where it wants to be bending to. If it was in a pure straight line, it doesn't understand which way it's going to be bending. So the IK handle will not work. Okay, to create the IK handle, it's actually fairly simple. All you're going to want to do is in the rigging tab, go to skeleton, create IK handle. Yeah, you don't need that. Oh, wait, we do want that. Oh, okay. So you do want to open the IK handle tool so that you can make sure that the rotate plane solver is the current solver. It is the default, but it is specified to make sure that that is happening. With that, you can hit X, and as long as you see this like shooter icon thing on your screen, it means you did good. It means you're in the right place. So with this active, what we're gonna want to do is select the ball joint, and then so right here, and then you want to just select this top joint here. And that should make it. No, I messed up somehow. I don't know how I messed up. Okay. So I somehow messed that up, but we're just gonna try that again. Create IK handle. I'm gonna zoom in and do this joint, and then do that joint. And I think it did the same thing. Oh, I know what's going wrong. So, I completely forgot a step, and this is an extremely important step to do, so I'm going to make sure that, here, I'm going to make sure that I cut this in properly. So this is a very important step. So once we do that, negative 30, positive 60, and then another negative 30 bends on these, what you want to do is grab the base, right click, and hit set preferred angle. No. So yeah, set preferred angle. For some reason, mine breaks when I do set preferred angle from the base bone there. It undoes this negative 30 rotation we do on the ball. So if that's happening for you, the workaround is to just grab the ball rather than the base and then do set preferred angle. Then when we do a skeleton, create IK handle, select that ball, select the top ball. There you go. You already have it, and you can just select that little top like red indicator thingy, and I can just show you immediately, oh, that it's working. You got your little guy moving, dude. You did it. You have the IK sets, dude. So yeah, that's the base here for getting it done. With that, I would definitely do a saving iteration once you get your IK set. For the IK handle, you can just name this IK, uh, lamp. I see, I see. So what you want to do for this part right here is a little interesting. So we bring this, curve up, center it to all that. You're all good. So select the curve and then select the IK controller. You want to do a constrain point for this one. Then grab the controller again, and then grab the top ball joint. So that little circle there. And you want to do a constrain orient. Now you can move that around, that top circle around, and it moves it all. And you can rotate it, and everything's just chilling. You're good now. Uh, so yeah, we're almost through this. It does get a little complicated. That's okay. I will do a save iteration here. So we're gonna once again create another circle, bring it up. We're just gonna snap it to that just so it's a little simpler. Eh, if I can, oh my lord. Sorry, my cat's got into a fight there. There we go. We're gonna rotate this 90 degrees, and we're gonna bring it out. It's your choice how far, but anywhere from like there to there should be fine. Then of course, history, freeze the transforms. This will be called elbow PV control. Elbow PV for pull vector. Sorry, my cats are not being nice. PV control. Uh, and yeah, that's a good name for that. Then, I kind of want mine just like slightly bigger. There we go. So select the PV control, and then select the IK handle. So that would be that little red thing up there. That little, oh, I selected too much. That IK lamp thing there. Then you want to do a constrain pull vector. And now, if we move this, it moves its little butt thing there. Its little elbow follows this thing. Very cool, very good. So we're gonna group the elbow, named IK control group. And we're gonna put this inside of that bigger control group filled with all the bigger stuff there. I feel like I should have done something with that head IK control. Not yet, apparently. Okay. Alright. Constraints from the base control to the IK control group. Oh, I see. So we're going to grab the base control, and then we're going to grab that IK control group that we just made, and we're going to constrain the parent and scale. So now that's following with it. I'm going to assume we want to do the same for this head control group, just because it makes sense. This isn't in the notes, but I mean, yeah. So what we're gonna do is grab that head control group there, make it into a group, rename the group to have group at the end. We're going to do the same thing of grabbing that base control to that new group we just made, and we're going to constrain parent and constrain scale so that if we move this at all, the entire character moves with it. Because yeah, that's just how it's meant to be. And we're going to move that into the IK control group so that it's decently clean. Uh, all right, guys, last bit of fun. I believe in all of us to push through. We are we are big brains. So to get ready for the IK switch, we're gonna want to select the base control, not the master. You can do master, but base is better because that's what you're gonna be moving the character with. And create a new attribute called FK underscore IK switch. Keyable good, float good, min 0, max 1. Add that. So now we got our new FK IK switch. Oh, I hate this. So we're going to need to be in the animation tab instead of rigging. And in the key, set key, set driven key, set menu. We're going to want the base control there to be the driver, while the driven, well, it's going to be a lot of things. For IK handle, the FK control group, the IK control group, parent constraint on ball joint, okay. So the driven things that this FK switch is going to drive, first will be the this IK, the main IK thing. The FK control group, so control click FK control group, then the IK control group. We will also want to grab the parent constraint on our ball joint, the parent constraint on our mid hinge joint, and then the orient constraint for our top ball joint. Then with that, you want to do load driven, and that puts them all into our driven categories here. So we can select each one of them and modify what we need to do. Oh my fucking god. I hate doing this twice. This fucking blows. I don't like this set driven key shit, dude. It makes sense, but it's weird. Um So with the IK handle, for me, once again named IK lamp, you want to go to the blend, and we can see that right there. We want that to be at 0. So you can hit 0, middle mouse, hit enter, any of that type of stuff. Just make sure it's selected good. Similarly with the base control, you want to make sure that this is in the default state, so at 0. Um, so yeah, so once again, you can just double check very easily that that changed to 0. For the FK control group, we want visibility on. So visibility right now for the FK control group, which you can double check, FK control group is off, so just 1 on. IK control group, then we're going to be wanting to make that turn off. The ball joint, okay. So for the parent constraints on these two parent constraints, you want to hit that control 0 thing down there, and you want the weight to be at 1. So that's good there. That's not good there. 1. And then the top one for the orient constraint, we'll be doing the top and head control group things. So for the first one here, we're going to do the FK control, and that will be at 1. And then for the IK control there, making that 0. So I didn't set keys for any of this stuff. So what you want to do to set key is base control, FKI switch, and then go through all of these, IK blend, FKI switch, 0, that's what we want, key. We want this to be visibility uh, on, key, IK visibility off, key, ball joint parent constraint, 1 meaning it's working, key, mid for the same type of thing, key, and then for the top, you want to be keying both the FK and head for the 1 and the 0 there. Then with that, you can see that the blue is now next to those numbers, meaning that they are keyed. So that's for one of them, but now we need to be able to key it backwards. So we're just going to go through that same stuff, but reverse it. So we're going to go to the base control, change the switch to being on, so at 1 for IK now. Then we're going to go to the IK lamp, blend, turn it on. You can do key after all of this, but I just like to make sure that the changes are going through, so I do it 2 times in reality. Turn that off, turn this on, turn this off, turn this off, and then off, on. Double check it went through. We're all good. So key. Oh, I messed up. IK blend. Key. Visibility. Key. Visibility. Key. Weight. Key. Parent constraint control thing. Wait. Key. And then both of these bottom ones keying the changes. So with that, we can now go here and turn this to 0 and see that all of that changes, giving the visibility turned on for these controls, for the FK controls. Then we can also go here, turn this off, and get the IK control back. So we can do IK movement, switch it to FK. And it is meant to do that, by the way. I know it's weird, but that's what we were taught to do in class because Maya is a very cool program. But yeah, with that, it's all very simple to set everything back to 0 and bring this switch back on because everybody prefers to do their switch on or prefers to use IK most likely, as it's a little more fluid, simpler to use than FKs. And of course, we're going to make a new iteration. For final cleanup here, I deleted the three locators, closed all of the groups that we made just to help clean that up. I'm going to change the lamp uh, handle to be lamp IK handle instead of IK lamp. I'm going to move the handle into the control groups. I'm going to then move the skeletal into the lamp and then the control into the lamp group. And then inside of the lamp group, I have the geometry, the skeleton, and the controls. I think we might want to put the skeleton inside of the controls, but I'm very happy with that look, honestly. And then you want to make your geometry layer a referenced layer. Once again, I did delete these locators, so I'm going to delete the locator layer. And with that, we are done. That is all of the cleanup. And if you want, you can do more cleanup, like putting the skeletal and IK handle into a group called Do Not Touch. Um, but I mean, only we're going to be touching this stuff, so we understand, what to do with it more than if we were to just give this to somebody random. But yeah, this is the end of it. So yeah.